It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
All right, what a weekend. And we welcome you in. It is the Patrick Johnson Show here on 94.3 The Game, Fresh Edition. I'll be out at Tiebreakers tonight for Inside Pirate Athletics. Philip the Ref Pilkington is alongside after a big Pirate weekend. The good, I'd say congrats to Kim McNeil. They got a basketball victory last night. They've now won 7 of 8 in the tournament. They'll play again tonight at 7 against North Texas. I think Shane Winkler's softball team doing a 4-0 week last week and getting a sweep in the first conference. I'm a big Shane Winkler guy, as you know, Pilk. So I think that's a great positive. Obviously Ethan Norby. That's a laurel. 19 strikeouts, the conference record. Second most in a Pirate game. And Pilk, did you realize something? I'm even going to go back and say, because we didn't have a show Friday, I'm gonna put the basketball victory over Tulane in there too. It's a great win, great environment, a lot of fun. Pilk, are you there, or are you just deciding today's the day you're for once not going to say anything?
No, you said, do you realize, and then you kept talking. I didn't want to interrupt. Sometimes I'm nice. Usually I'm rude, but today I was being nice. Monday, I want to get it off on the right foot.
Do you realize that you were dealing with a viral sensation on the show today?
I do.
Do you realize that? Okay.
I will, and I do want to
That's
compliment
why you're
you.
showing me. That's why you're showing me the affording me the respect I so richly deserve.
Yes. I do want to compliment you on how well, and everyone who I've talked to has complimented on how well you handled that with the reading glasses comment, because it was very obvious what she was doing. Obviously, ignoring it would have been bad. Admitting what she's doing would have been worse. So I like how you tried to diverge the attention very quickly to her glasses, since you're on TV and you have to be professional. So I commend you on your very quick thinking that you had on Friday or Saturday.
As someone
afternoon.
said to me that monitor, and you notice the glasses of all things. But yes, I'm a professional. I'm a big accessories. I notice accessories. So there you go. That was that. I wish they had stopped by the TV booth yesterday, but I think there were some uneasy people, perhaps, concerning the whole thing. Some
it's
easy
nothing
people.
that you don't. I don't understand the uneasiness. You see it at every other sporting event. You don't think the
Pilk,
SAC broadcast,
and we're in it's weird. I mean, Pilk, trust me, I know. I get it. I grew up on WGN, Harry Carey, and Steve Stone.
yeah,
But good grief.
a little off topic, or a little off sports. But you mentioned it's 2025, and it's so weird, isn't
Stick
it?
to sports, Pilky.
No, I know, but it's weird because in a way we're so into everybody should be able to express themselves. Nobody should be shunned. But then on the other end, we're also like, oh my goodness, can you believe they put that on TV? We've gone almost to both extremes. I feel like we used to live in moderation, and now both extremes are way too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're a world of extremes right
Because you're being shunned for showing it on television, but we're celebrating her for having that much self-confidence
being
in
shunned.
herself. Well, you know what I mean.
I don't think anybody's being shunned, but I mean, I think there are some people who probably are a little upset about it, but nobody said anything inappropriate.
I mean, the cameras cut to the crowd and somebody did something. It wasn't like the person who said,
Right.
"Oh, cut to them." It was just, "Hey, there's some fans. Show them." And then, nobody knew what she was going to do.
And there was a kid who had a Fanta under one arm, a ballpark Frank or something in the other at the Florida UCF game, and a beer in his hand.
I saw that. He was 11. It was awesome.
I know. And so again, people, I talked about this all the time. Pilk, having done some appraisal work and going in people's home, people live weirdly. People are very strange creatures. I mean, you'd be surprised how a lot of people live. You'd be stunned. You really would be stunned how people you would think have it all buttoned up live in a very bizarre existence. It's really strange. So
I think
the
we need to do a
behavior of
Patrick
people-
Johnson show after dark, and you tell everybody these stories when we're,
I'd have to
video
go back and
stream
think
only.
about it.
Yeah, we need to plan it out, do it in a couple weeks, video stream only, no radio, and we need some stories. PJ show after dark.
Well, but my point is people are just, so we shouldn't be stunned by their behavior. Shouldn't be stunned by people's bizarre, especially in the world of people are interested in likes and followers and can I strike a deal and get a podcast or, get some, how would you say, some clout. So there you go. Fun weekend at the ballpark. I think the Ethan Norby performance might be the greatest baseball performance I've ever seen in person. Pretty good stuff there. Struck out the first 9, 16 of the first 18, 7 of the first 9 he faced, and then 16 of the first 8. En route to 19 strikeouts. Pretty wild. And had every pitch going. And it wasn't like he was up there on the gun with his fastball, which for all you daddy ballers out there, and there are plenty of you around these parts, let this be a lesson. You don't have to be throwing a gazillion miles an hour. You don't have to be touching low to mid 90s with your fastball to be effective. Norby was around upper 80s, maybe 91, 92 with his fastball. But you know what he did, Pilk? He spotted it. Started off 23 out of 25 hitters at last I remember with first strikes.
Correct. Yeah. You do that when you get ahead in counts. Now, I will say Coastal, bad on them that it took them 5 innings, but smart on them that they finally realized, you don't have to be in the box the second the pitch clock starts. And I think part of it is, man, he was just in a groove, and it was almost like he was playing catch with Walker Barron there for those first 5 innings. Because the second the ball would hit Ethan's glove, he was back toeing the mound and ready to throw back to Walker. Coastal tried to slow him down. It didn't work at all, but I think it calmed their hitters down a smidge because they did at least start making contact and quit striking out, but they still weren't really hitting it very well. And like you said, when you locate it, he does obviously have some movement on it. You can't just be 88 flat,
Right, yeah.
On
but
the
I'm just
outside
saying,
part of the plate. Somebody's going to get their hands.
But you don't have to have. Here's what I would compare what Norby did the other. It was Maddox-like.
Yeah. I agree.
Didn't have the fastest, wasn't blazing the fastball up there, but spotting it very well. The other pitches he was in total command of. One of the great performances of all time. I had the basketball Pilk below the monitor for a little bit on my phone on Plus yesterday in the booth, and when it kind of got doubled up, you watch between innings, pay a little more attention, and when it kind of got doubled up, I said, okay, I'm getting off of this. I need to save my battery so I can see because I can get text messages from people I haven't talked to in years about how viral I was going. And so my question, did you watch any of the basketball? Did you get the occasion to? What happened with that? It just seemed like they could not get anything going.
I watched it more in depth than you did, but I turned it off by the time you turned it off because obviously I was producing baseball. It kind of reminds you of the early in the season team where couldn't really get anything to fall. The shot selection was okay, but still just not really getting anything to fall. And I tell you, man, that FAU team came in with a much different mindset than they came into Minji's. That was a physical team. They were banging bodies. They were tough. There's that tall kid with the long hair that looks like he would be like, at an anime convention, who's like 6'9", stocky built kid. Oh, yeah. Man. Dude, he looked good in Minji's, but he really looked good yesterday. And I think that was kind of one of those things. They got punched in the mouth, and they just didn't respond. They were a little shocked. Yeah. But, I think they will. That's really the first time probably in the Schwartz era that it felt like they really got punched in the mouth, and there was really – it's not that they rolled over and quit, but they never showed any life to battle back.
Couldn't get back in it.
So if it's one out of how many ever games he's coached in his ECU career, you can't be upset.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Speaking of 100, Hundo wins now at ECU for Shane Winkler. So congratulations to him.
Good
Big
weekend
fan
for
of
them.
Coach Winkler.
Winning
it really
in
was.
blowout
They,
fashion, winning it in extras, winning it in a close game that they opened up late at the end. I mean, they won in all three fashions, really.
And beat Michigan on Wednesday night.
Oh, that was awesome. That was great.
With a 2-run jack.
Emma Jackson. She's not breaking the doubles record this year, but she was clutch. Big 2-run blast.
Look, let me
bottom
tell you
of the
something.
sixth.
She might, because the bat is starting to awaken for.
It is, but she's
for
only at
EJ.
like 5 doubles or something. She's not going to break
Oh,
her
look,
own
she
record.
could go on a tear. She
She
go on
could,
a tear.
but I don't
Phil.
think
You know this.
she will.
Well,
I'm
Emma,
not saying
direct
she
that
won't go on a
towards Phil
tear. I'm
Cookie,
saying
not
she
me.
will not break the record.
I'm
That's all
here.
saying.
I'm here for the Emma Jackson resurgence. You, on the other hand,
I
dubious.
think she can
Don't be
start
dubious,
hitting it.
Phil.
I think she can start hitting them at the rate she was hitting them last year. I believe that. I just think she's she's too far behind pace to break her own record. Is my point. I'm thinking she can still go out there and hit him at that pace the rest of the year. But we're 5 weeks into the season now. She got double a week.
What if you hit the ball out of the park?
Well, those aren't doubles. That doesn't break the double record. Hey, she might break her own dinger record now. I'm for some more. She's got power. That one she hit the other night. The one she hit the other night. Whew, that didn't sneak over. That was gone.
By the way, Coastal had a guy, Barthol, who hit a home run in the Saturday game. It was the second home run of the second inning. And, I mean, that was light pole power.
The one that went to
into
left?
the teeth of the wind. Went to right, no. The one that went to right that he hit over the treetops into the teeth of the wind.
Yeah.
And if it had not been the teeth of the wind, had the wind been blowing in the other direction, it probably would have landed at Sup Dogs.
Yeah. And had the wind not been blowing at all, it would have at least made it to Minji's.
Correct.
But it kept it on the practice football field.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Cliff Godwin. Also, Kevin Keats fired at NC State, as this observer predicted would happen. Joe Giglio broke that story. We're going to talk to Giglio coming up in a little bit. So stay with us. It is the Patrick Johnson Show. We'll be at Tiebreakers for Inside Pirate Athletics. Time out, come back, and get you ready for more here on the PJ Show. Cliff Godwin on the other side.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. minds, hearts, purpose.
Your roof is a vital part of protecting your home and family from dangerous storms and hurricanes. At Assist Roofing, we install and maintain metal roofing that provides precise protection. Add value to your home while lowering utility costs with a fortified roof to last a lifetime. With 0% financing, grants, and Energy Star Green Roofing tax credit available. Call us to schedule a free consultation so you can weather any storm with confidence.
You ready for this?
Oh, I'm very ready. Okay, ready?
You ready? Streaming to the world at 943thegame.com. This is the Patrick Johnson Show. Now in all his glory, here's the P-Man.
So apparently the Pirate baseball team has a little bit of stomach bug going through it, and that impacted them this weekend. I got a little sinus thing going, Bill. I don't know what it is.
You've been hanging out with the baseball team at night?
Well, I was there all weekend.
That's true.
Now, I'm not having the same issues they were having, thank God.
I wonder if yours is that pollen, man. It was bad this weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
That weird Friday night where it kind of half rained and it brought all the pollen out of the trees but didn't wash it away.
Yeah.
I came in and I had like yellow circles all over my car Saturday morning.
I'm still waiting to see if my doctor's going to write me back and send me some kind of wonder drug, and still hasn't happened. All right. Cliff Godwin on with Stephen Igo and myself earlier. We'll bring you that conversation now before we get to Joe Giglio. This is Coach Godwin, and we asked him about the week last week, 2-2, starting with the victory at the Segra Stadium down in Fayetteville over Gardner-Webb.
Well, starting, in Fayetteville, I thought, our guys, showed up, and I thought we were pretty, much ready to play. It was a very, very hitter-friendly strike zone. So it took, an older guy like Jake Hunter to really navigate that, where you have to throw it over the white to get it be called a strike. And I thought Gardner-Webb did a really good job of just not chasing out of the zone because they knew what the strike zone was. But we did get behind, and our guys fought back, and, Jake closed the game out, and it was awesome. And then you go to Friday, and Norbs was unbelievable. And I try to tell our guys that, I've been coaching for, I think, 22 years, and I've never seen a performance like that. And we've had some really good pitchers here that have had great performances, but I've never seen anything like that. I mean, obviously, when you break this single game AAC strikeout record, it's a pretty special performance. And just the way he did it with the pitch count, the limited number of pitches, because he was ahead of guys. And then Sunday we just didn't show up ready to we got about 13 guys with the flu, and guys are battling sickness, but regardless, we weren't ready to play, and that's on me. And then yesterday, I thought Lance Williams was outstanding. He was ahead of guys, attacking the strike zone. Offensively, I thought that, I know you guys are going to talk about, we're 1 for 16 with guys on, but offensively, we put together tougher at bats. Our guys are ready to play, even with the guys that, were sick, and Colby Wallace and Dixon and Boucher, all those guys are battling something, and Drew Downs wasn't available yesterday because he's got the flu. But some good individual performances. Braden Burris had a great day. Walker Barron had a great day. Dixon swung the bat pretty good. And, we just couldn't get guys in from third base less than 2 at the level we needed to. And it's not crazy. We were 2 for 7, but if we just do 1 or 2 of those and move the baseball, I think we struck out 4 of those times. The game's different. Also, we had 11 freebies on the mound. So if we just eliminate 1 or 2 of those, then we win the baseball game. So we're close, and I don't care what I think. I know that we're going to be good, and we're going to be where we need to be at the end of the year. And we're going to be with the guys that believe that ECU baseball is going to be where we need to be at the end of the year.
Cliff Godwin with us here on this Monday. Coach, you mentioned that. I mean, 1 hit here or there, 1 less walk. You guys are feeling much different on this Monday morning. So, I don't know, with a newer team, do you have to try and remind them of that and tell them to stay off social media, not listen to the noise? I know you always say that, but even at a time like this, do you reemphasize it at all?
Well, I've said it the whole year, and I keep saying it. And, this is our story. No offense. It's not our fan story. It's not the media story. People counted us out in 2022, and that seemed to have worked out well for us. So I'm not saying this team is the exact team, but we're not healthy. We're going to get healthy. And we're continuing to get better. I mean, you can see us growing if you actually know what you're watching. Now, we still got to get better at some of the small details of the game and understand that those little small things can get you beat. But it's a pitch here, it's a pitch there, whether we're on the offensive side of the ball or the pitching side of the ball. And if we do that, there's going to be some synergy for sure. And, our guys are going to start feeling that confidence. But our guys fought yesterday. I mean, look, it'd been very easy, not to have come from behind and tie the game up and, go to extra innings. And, Jake Hunter did not lose the game. We lost the game well before the solo home run. I can tell you that, but our guys fought to the end, which I was proud of.
Coach, you said after Friday's game, you've never seen anything like what Ethan Norby did. I don't know. It was almost like you said video game like, and almost hard to fathom watching it unfold. Will that be one you always remember just because of how dominant he was, striking out the first 9 guys and then 19 and 0 walks too. 19 to 0 walks. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and you look in, I think he threw 103 pitches and whatever, 7 in the third. I mean, you strike out that many guys and only throw that number of pitches, you're in the zone a lot. And he made it look easy. But the thing I'd like for you media people to put out there is that's because the guy is super diligent with his daily process of what he needs to do to be the best pitcher in the country. And it doesn't always show up like that on a Friday night when he's starting. But the guy was supposed to be in the bullpen, and he's just continued to stack days. I mean, going back to last year, his freshman year, one of his first outings at Old Dominion, he wasn't good. He was bad. And then at the end of the year, he's starting a must-win game against Evansville to get us to the championship game on Monday. And the guy's super competitive, but he values the work he puts in when his attention to detail is at a very high level, and he's a true pirate. The guy loves ECU baseball and would do anything in the world for us to have success, and it just couldn't happen to a better human being, and I'm just so proud of him.
Cliff Godwin with us here. Great to have Coach with us after the Pirates have a 2-2 week. Struck out, as Igo said, the first 9 and 16 of the first 18 en route to that 19. You likened it to when you were at LSU, David Price's performance. The thing I thought was interesting, and we talked to Ethan about this on the coach's show, and he talked about a little bit about it, I think, after the game on Friday, and that is the opposing batter, because he works fast anyway, trying to, just break his rhythm. And it was interesting. He said he's kind of zeroed in on Walker Barron. Is that something you guys have worked with? It seems like Ethan's so locked in, that he's kind of come up, and you guys have given him the freedom to come up with what makes him comfortable out there so he can execute at the highest level.
Yeah, for sure. And, AK's having to delay when he calls the pitch in a little bit because Ethan can work a little bit too fast with the new rules and stuff. But, yeah, it's not a comfortable at bat for the hitters. They try to, look down because the rule is whenever your eyes are up, then he can pitch. But Norbs is ready to go when the guy steps in the box. So when your eyes come up, man, you better be ready to go. And, definitely when you're pounding the strike zone like he was with multiple pitches, it just makes it really hard on hitters.
And, I think last I remember on Friday, it was something like 23 out of the 25 first he faced were first pitch strikes. I mean, it just goes to show you get that first pitch across in the zone, and then it really opens up the opportunity for whoever's pitching.
For sure. It definitely does. And, Norbs is just relentless in the strike zone. I mean, you can look at his strikeout for freebies, and it's really, really skewed one-sided. And when you get ahead of hitters, man, you can really put them on the defensive if you're able to throw multiple pitches for strikes. And he obviously does that at a high level.
They scratch out yesterday, just to go back to the game on Sunday, a single in, I think it was 6th, 7th, and 8th yesterday, Coastal I'm speaking of there. And then you come down in the 9th after having those opportunities. We're able to get to the top of the order and be productive. Burris, I thought, gave you, Coach, that kind of spark that you would really like to have, particularly from the top of the order. And in that particular inning, the whole game he did, but in that particular inning he did with some pretty tough at-bats.
Yeah, he's played tremendous, after he was, starting, opening weekend with some injuries and stuff. And after the first game, I think he tried to do too much. And then, he was coming off the bench couple weeks, and he's a team guy. Nobody has been recruited on our team like him, from the level of, I painted the worst possible picture for him to come here because I played with his dad in high school and told him not to ruin our friendship. I wore number 16 in high school because of his dad, and then also, wore 16 at East Carolina because his dad led us to the state championship. And, Braden's had to earn everything he's ever gotten in life. When you're that size, like a Turner Brown, people always overlook you. And he's super competitive. And once he just settled in and was coming off the bench, you could just see the confidence grow. And he's got back to just being the best version of himself and hitting the ball the other way and getting on base and stealing bases and playing good defense in the outfield. So definitely there's a lot of positives that you can take, from this weekend with him. Walker Barron's putting together great at bats and catching every inning. Nick Moran was better, on Saturday. So Lance was awesome yesterday. So, like I said, we're growing, and I'm going to continue to coach these guys, and we're going to continue to get better.
Cliff Godwin with us on this Monday for our weekly chat. Cliff, I was going to ask, I mean, you always learn as a coach every game, but with this year in particular, it's well documented how many guys new to the program or first year in the program via various routes. How much are you guys as coaches right now just learning about the individual players from game to game, and who fits best where, and who responds to this type of coaching versus that type of coaching, like in season right now, and how much of I don't know, is that an enjoyable process? I'm sure some growing pains with that, but also enjoyable to kind of figure out these guys as things go along.
Yeah, enjoyable is probably not the right word, but we're definitely figuring out our team as it goes. I mean, every day there seems to be right now a new obstacle. Like Drew Downs not being available yesterday, or Roger rolling his ankle in pregame on Saturday. And as long as our guys can stay committed to the process and not just feel like, hey, the woe is me. I mean, we're going to be very hardened at the end of the season because we've been through a lot with the injuries, with this flu, with guys just, rolling their ankle in pregame. I mean, pretty much anything imaginable, it seems like it can happen, but we're not going to lose confidence in ourselves. And we do have what it takes in that locker room to continue to play good baseball. And, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Coach LeClaire used to say that all the time. So I probably didn't understand it as a player as much as I should, but definitely understand it as a coach, and we'll continue to hammer those things. And we just got to get a little bit better. Like I said, it's one pitch here or one pitch there on the offensive side or the pitching side of the ball.
I think going into week 5, Coach, of you being in the dugout, not coaching third. So how have you enjoyed that process? And then at any point, would you consider going back to third, or are you in this for the long haul in the dugout?
It's allowed me to have more one-on-one conversations with guys, which I think, that's one of my strengths, just in game and stuff, and just being a calming presence, which I know people see my reactions to the umpires and stuff. But if you were in our dugout, I mean, when something goes bad, Coach Godwin's not losing his crap because nobody's trying to give up a home run or make an error or strike out. That's not going to be beneficial to our team. So to be that calming presence has been good for our guys. Look, every game's a new game. I'm not saying I'm never going to coach third base again, but at this time I'm going to stay in the dugout and continue to just invest in our players one-on-one.
Rightfully so too. The effort by Norby kind of overshadowed to a degree Colby Wallace. What a game what a weekend he had. But man, what a game he had Friday. Couple home runs. That was great to see. You'd moved him down, Coach, to 9 to take a little pressure off of him. You'd stated when he moved back up to third, perhaps out of some necessity. How do you think he performed yesterday with his ABs after really being effective Friday and Saturday?
Well, he had a couple quality bats, but look, Colby was not 100% yesterday. I'm not making excuses for him because I told the whole team, if you're good enough to play, man, we're not going to make excuses for you. But I mean, he ran a 4.85 down the line on that double play he hit into, and Colby could run backwards when he's healthy at a 4.85. So he was giving us everything he had yesterday. Colby's one of our best hitters. He's going to be in the middle of our lineup. He will be fine. I'm not worried about him. I have some problems. He's not one of them. I can tell you that.
And Coach Austin Irby, going back to the midweek, couple home runs for him. You've really solidified the infield. He's a big part of that over at first. So a little bit on Irby's play, the freshman for you, how you think he's progressing.
Irby's great. I think, he's learning how to handle success and how to, you hit a couple home runs, not to try to do too much the next game and just get back to hitting the ball in the middle of the field. And I think for any young hitter, when you have some success like that, it can become very easy to be pull happy, and then you're more susceptible to fastballs on the outer part of the plate and then also off speed. And I thought, yesterday he put together some better at bats than he did earlier in the weekend after the 2 home run game.
Cliff Godwin with us. Last few things for Coach. We'll get him out of here before a busy week. And just wanted to touch a little further on Lance Williams. Coach Godwin, I know he was originally obviously committed to you guys out of high school, had the injury, delayed his enrollment. Just talk about his progress since then. And man, when he's in the zone, he's pretty unhittable with some of his stuff. So his progress thus far, your thoughts on that?
Well, you can just see, man, every time out he's getting better, and AK's done a tremendous job with him. But the thing about Lance is, number one, he works his tail off. Number two, he's confident in his abilities, and he's not scared to be out there in the fire, and I say that. And some guys get nervous when, the fire's turned up, but Lance is not that. He had to, of course, rehab his arm after Tommy John surgery. We really didn't know if he would still come here. He wanted to come here. The guys love him. He's got a great personality. He's an East Carolina Pirate, man. It's been awesome to see him grow. And, when he has success, everybody's pulling for him.
And last thing for you, Coach, 5-game week ahead, always a challenge. Definitely when you're dealing with the flu or some type of sickness with that. 2 games at VCU over spring break, and then William and Mary for 3 and Clark LeClaire. Just the challenge of pitching on a week like this and also making sure your guys are getting enough rest and staying healthy. It sounds like with the sickness going through the team. How do you try to balance that as coach?
Well, we got to make sure they get healthy. That's the thing, and we were talking about before we got on the air. So, we have a breakfast this morning. We're on spring break at 9:30. I told the guys, if you're sick, don't come up here. And then the guys that are healthy are going to have breakfast, and they're going to lift weights at 10. And, we'll have a few meetings with some players and stuff to go over some things from this weekend, but really just trying to get them as much as rest as possible. And we'll take a bus up today at 4 up to Richmond. There might be one van that goes with us today that's got some guys that are kind of on the backside of the sickness. So hopefully they're not contagious. And then we're leaving some guys back that are not going at all. And then we're bringing a van tomorrow as well. So a lot of moving parts, but hey, we're going to get up there and put guys on the field that can play, and we're going to compete, and we're going to continue to get better. So it's another opportunity. I mean, spring break, no class in baseball, best part of the year until exams are over, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Cliff Godwin with us. All right. We'll get to Joe Giglio in just a bit. Right now, here is Philip, the Ref Pilkington, with the 94.3 The Game Sports Flash update and Pirate Report. Pilk.
Thank you, P-Man. It was a tough day on the diamond yesterday. Pirates dropped the rubber match to the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers 4-3 in extra innings. Coach Godwin on what went wrong in yesterday's performance.
We had freebies at the wrong time on mound, and then we just didn't do enough offensively. And we got about half our team sick, and that's not an excuse, but pretty much everybody played, and they showed up today. So that was the thing I was proud about. But if we don't show up like that every day, then we're not putting our best foot forward, and that's what the message was today.
They will be back in action tomorrow when they travel up to Richmond to take on the Rams of VCU. That will be right here on 94.3 The Game at 5:45. Basketball also fell yesterday 81-53 to Florida Atlantic. Coach Short said his team did not compete when they needed to.
It's not a great situation when we go from three-point line, what we did tonight, 2 of 15. So you got to get it in the paint. You got to get it getting fouled. You got to get it at the free throw line. And unfortunately, we did not win the battle of physicality in the paint. So if you lose the three-point line and you get outplayed the physicality in the paint, unfortunately, you put yourself in a real, in a real hole.
It'll be a late night for the men's basketball team on Thursday. That's when their conference tournament gets going against UTSA. It'll be a 9:30 tip, 9 o'clock airtime right here on 94.3 Game, our sister station, 107.9. Speaking of conference tournaments, the women's team got off to a victorious start in theirs last night over Memphis. Here's Coach Kim McNeil after that victory.
We did a really good job of prepping the last couple of days and just really coming in and executing the game plan. You know, we wanted to turn them over. We wanted to be really good in our matchup, which I felt like we hadn't been this season. But, you know, come tournament time, if you defend, rebound, and share the ball, you got an opportunity to win, and I thought we did a good job of that today.
They'll take on North Texas tonight at 7 p.m. on ESPN+. Softball Open Conference with a sweep over UTSA. Coach Shane Winkler got his 100th win in a Pirate uniform. Lacrosse will be in action tonight at 10 o'clock as they head out to San Diego to take on the Aztecs of San Diego State. The Panthers have re-signed tight end Tommy Trimble to a 2-year, $10.5 million deal. Russell Henley won the Arnold Palmer Invitational, shooting 11 under, one stroke clear of Colin Morikawa. And Christopher Bell wins in the Valley of the Sun, his third straight victory in the NASCAR Cup Series, first driver since Kyle Larson in 2021 to win 3 straight Cup Series races. That'll do it for your 94.3 The Game Sports Flash Update and Pirate Report. We'll take a time out here on the Patrick Johnson Show. Be right back with Joe Giglio on the other side.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. 2 real burgers, better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers. Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Pirate fans, 2025 East Carolina football season tickets are on sale now and can be purchased for as little as $115. Head coach Blake Harrell wants you to be a part of his first full season as the Pirate coach as he builds momentum off of the 8-win season and the Military Bowl win over North Carolina State. Call 1-800-DIAL-ECU or go to ECUPirates.com today to get your 2025 season tickets.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Sometimes you just don't know if you want to kiss him or slap him.
Ow!
Either way, he'd probably like it. The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Breaking news yesterday by the one and only Joe Giglio of the OG podcast. Joe, for years covering the NC State Wolfpack, great friend of the program, and it's always exciting to have the OG himself, Joe Giglio. Not the younger Giglio who's on with Igo. No. The actual OG himself, Joe Giglio. Is Zygo treating your son well? That's my first question. We'll get it. There's plenty of time to get into this other stuff. Is Zygo treating the young Giglio as he should be treated?
Absolutely. He's learning. He's getting the way of the land there, though. I need to send him your way because you were the real star of the weekend, Patrick. I actually put my reading glasses on for you. So there's no doubt. There's no doubt what those are for.
You know, Joe,
No selfies
someone
here.
asked me, they said, of all that, and you noticed the glasses. I said, well, it's because I'm a professional. I don't, I like accessories. I'm big into accessories. I have an eye for these sort of things. So it's, it was interesting.
You played that beautifully, sir. Such a pro.
Well,
a true pro.
Well, I got too many bills. I can't find myself. It's taken me this long to fall this far. I can't fall any further. So I just have to, just do the best I can. But thank you, Joe. You were one of about 6 people, literally, to have texted me at some point over the weekend or messaged me. All right. Look, we got you broke the news, is what I understand, on the Keats firing. It was you, is what I was told. So congrats on that. What was interesting to me is a lot of people said, well, this isn't going to happen. This is going to – it would have happened last year probably had he not gone on the run, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of a key part about this is because a lot of people will say, well, they made the Final Four. And it's like, yeah, but they were ready last year to get rid of him, unfortunately for Kevin. And I look at it as a 4-year window here in the transfer portal NIL era, and he goes 2 out of those 4 years. One of them he wins the ACC and obviously goes to the Final Four. That's not how Boo Corrigan and NC State looked at it. And unfortunately, the whiplash from last year to this year amongst the fan base, where you see just the elation of winning the ACC for the first time since '87, and then having the trip to the Final Four. All, by the way, while Duke and Carolina were not there, and by the way, beating Carolina to win the ACC and then beating Duke to get to the Final Four, you'd think, oh, Kevin will be the coach forever, and not the case. And I think this is more about Boo Corrigan almost than anything else. This is his 6th year at NC State. This is his first chance to hire a major coach. Heck, if you want to go down the line there too, he hasn't even so much as gotten to hire a women's basketball coach or a baseball coach. So this is his first real chance to make a big hire, make a big splash, and we'll see what Boo has cooked up here.
It's interesting because they're getting a new chancellor, and that chancellor may or may not be more involved in athletics than Randy Woodson was involved in athletics. So this is a lot of pressure on Boo Corrigan, I would have to say. Does he have the appetite to hire Will Wade? Has he got the testicular fortitude to make that hire?
I think he does, in the sense that so much of the college landscape and the rules and the concepts and constructs of the old way has changed. And I think you also have to understand the position that NC State's in. They're not an SEC program. They're not Clemson or Louisville or Duke or Carolina when it comes to NIL money either. So I'm not saying beggars can't be choosers. I'm just saying they're in a different spot than Louisville was last year. Louisville made it known last year that they had a $6 million NIL budget and that they were willing to make a move and go all in. Kind of like Carolina football this year with Bill Belichick. They've made it known. This is our investment. This is what we're doing. And that's what NC State needs to do. You mentioned the new chancellor. That's what remains to be seen in this equation. I think this particular move is about Boo. The next move for the school is about what direction does the new chancellor push the school at a time where higher ed's budgets are going to start crunching. I think we learned during the pandemic the value of sports and what they really mean to these schools. Spoiler, it means a lot.
Yeah. All right. We got about 5 minutes, so we'll get you on another time to talk NC State as this coaching search unfolds. But Will Wade, who else is on the Giglio short list really quick before I ask you about Duke and North Carolina?
Yeah, not my list, but I would think Ryan Odom under the old construct would make a whole lot of sense for NC State. You look at some of the connections that Boo has. Mike White is a guy at Georgia, is one of his really good friends,
right?
Son of Kevin White, former Notre Dame AD and kind of someone who's been a mentor to Boo Corrigan. So those are two of the bigger ones, I'd say. But Justin Gainey would be somebody on my list, Tennessee assistant, and was also somebody in the running for the Florida State job. Would love to see Justin get a shot to run his own team. I think he's deserved that.
Pilkington tells me we have 9 minutes, so I shouldn't have hurried you there. We got plenty of time.
Okay.
We could stretch it out a little bit here. I'm sorry, Joe. Gainey was the name at the ECU thing originally before it ended up being Schwartz. So I think there was a little smoke to that fire. But anyway, I think that'd be a good one, Justin Gainey, and it seems to make a little bit of sense. All right.
Real quick, Patrick, bring your reading glasses so you know what time it is, man. You didn't bring the reading glasses.
Yes, I need to. My glasses are not made for reading, apparently. All right. Joe Giglio, the OG podcast, is with us here. All right. My favorite part of the game Saturday night was when the Tar Heel fans actually thought they were going to win. They thought that everything that was going to be thrown up by R.J. Davis was still going to continue to go in. And Duke just weathered that thing and just flexed their muscle and pulled away and blew them out. Right now, as we sit here on this Monday, are the Tar Heels in, out, right on the line? Which one?
I think they're out. They're going to have to do some work there in Charlotte. Now they can win their first game against Pitt potentially, which may not move the needle for most people, but it's not Stanford or Virginia Tech or Cal or one of the dregs of the league, so that's good. Then they would be matched up with Wake Forest, who's I think further off the bubble than where Carolina is. I think there is a way for them to get in without beating Duke. It does require some bubble luck, but the biggest thing Carolina has going for them is they haven't done anything dumb this year. And the dumbest thing any team on the bubble can do is lose their first game in a conference tournament. The NCAA tournament selection committee changes every year. There's different people. It's all the times. But there is one truism. If you go 0-1 in your conference tournament and you're on the bubble, you're done. You're done. So I think they can help themselves. Obviously, the magic bullet being if they play Duke on Friday night, which seems likely. But short of that, you need an Indiana to lose, a Xavier, whoever else you're competing with on the bubble. You need that bubble luck to pop right for you. And all those other, VCU. You need Ryan Odom to take care of his business. You need, all those other one-bid leagues. You need them to take care of their business.
Need Memphis to win the American.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. Is what you would need. Hey, Joe, real quick on Wake Forest. What happens there?
I mean, you might see Steve leave. I know he's expressed frustration to me that, going 13-7 in the ACC isn't good enough to make the NCAA tournament. That's kind of like a wild concept if you really do think about it. 13-7 this year, 13-7 in 22. He's had teams good enough. Now they've not helped themselves. Let's be fair too.
Sure.
Particularly when they've closed seasons. I thought 22 and 22 is an example. They go up to Brooklyn, they lose their first game, and Virginia Tech kind of steals that bid by winning the league. That hurt them. Last year they go up, they lose to Pitt. That was a game they can't lose. So, this year they're a little bit further out of the conversation, but if they could beat Carolina, that helps. And then they matched up better with Duke down in Winston-Salem than just about anybody not named Clemson. So I wouldn't put it past them in Charlotte, but it requires them to maybe kind of have a lobotomy. I just feel like their best players aren't wired the right way to kind of seize these moments. And that's fine. Hunter Salas is a good college player, but sometimes you need other things to help you. And clearly he's one of those players.
How, who are your could win it all? Legitimate could win. I mean, I would think Duke's on there, and they've shown they just dismantled Illinois. Have looked fantastic. Wake quit against them last Monday. They beat North Carolina, who played really, really, really well for stretches of that game offensively. So when you look at Duke at ever how many out of the SEC, who are the ones that you think could be cutting down the nets in about a month or so?
Yeah, I think once you get beyond the obvious of Duke and Auburn, there's two teams that I really like who play offense at a high level. Now, they don't play defense at a high level, but Alabama and Wisconsin are two teams that play offense at a good enough level to win the national championship. can they get the right matchups to get there? Do they avoid? Alabama's going to avoid Auburn, so that's a
Mhm.
bonus for them.
Right.
Where do they end up in the bracket? Wisconsin just choked at home against Penn State. I understand that, but they play basketball they play offense at a high level. I think that's going to help them. I think the tournament is about scoring to me. Everyone's got a Ken Pom profile, the national champ, and this and that and the other. But to me, it's about when the money's on the table, who can make a shot. And I think that's ultimately been what the SEC's problem has been recently. Athletic teams, long, get out, run, defend, do all those good things, look great getting off the bus, but ultimately struggle to make shots. So I think this Alabama team in particular, they could really score. They could really, really score. St. John's is someone I think who can be dangerous, but they can't score. Like Rick Pitino has straight up said his team can't shoot to save their lives. So I expect them to be a pain in the butt for sure for a lot of teams. I would love to see them with Louisville and Kentucky. I think that would be amazing. The NCAA always has a sense of humor when it comes to such things, but I don't think they play offense well enough. Iowa State probably on that also. All right, Iowa State and Florida probably also in there with, can score, but I'm not sure they can defend well enough when push comes to shove. But yeah, I really do think this tournament is Duke's to lose.
Can Clemson get to the Final Four?
Absolutely. Again, they'll be not with Duke, so that's a bonus. I do slightly worry about them playing in Auburn or in Alabama.
Right.
But their size is really impressive. And, P, if you look the last couple of years, Zach Edey, DJ Burns, Florida Atlantic with the giant guys that they had, size has really been a differentiating factor in March. It used to be guards. Oh, I got to have guards. Now you look at it and you're going, well, somebody can kick it into the post and get a basket when they need it. And I think Clemson has the right formula. It is going to depend on the draw for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Giglio, great to talk to you. We'll get you on again real soon, especially as this NC State thing unfolds. I think that's kind of fascinating to watch, and we'll see where all that goes. But good to talk to you. I hope you're doing well.
Same, man. Yeah, and great work this weekend. Appreciate you.
Thank you. You too. Yep. The great Joe Giglio there with us from the OG podcast. Awesome to have him on. All right. Inside Pirate Athletics coming up. I'm going to break over to TB's in Bells Fork, and we'll have a big show for you there. Tomorrow on the program, speaking of Stephen Igo, the heartbeat of Pirate Athletics coverage, the one and only Stephen Igo, returns to the Patrick Johnson Show.
Wait, I have to do it with him twice in the same day?
You did, and
oh man!
So Igo will be on the big program tomorrow. Well, we have a shortened version of the show tomorrow, with baseball going to Richmond to play VCU at 6:00. We will have a 40-plus minute show leading in. So Igo will be the guest. I've been trying to get Igo on for a while, so that'll be happening. No show Wednesday. We'll have a full show on Thursday, and then probably get Mike Mullis on Friday and maybe one other. Of course, that'll be a shorter show, so maybe just a Mully show that day. Try to get Brian Mull on Thursday, and we'll see. Maybe Cy Seymour. So it's that kind of year, our time of year, and it's been that kind of year. All right, big thanks to Cliff Godwin, Stephen Igo, Phillip, and thanks to Joe Giglio. Great to have him on. Awesome stuff. All right, Inside Pirate Athletics coming up at the top of the hour here on 94.3 The Game. We'll see you over at Tiebreakers. Have a great rest of your evening. Back in the morning on Talk of the Town, and then back here for a shortened PJ show tomorrow.